In the Caribbean, we tell stories. Got heroes like Ossie Moore and Anansi. But did you hear of the Lonesome gardener? Come on, get a little closer.
How do I begin my journey to creativity without a map and a compass that only points south due to the magnetic pull of negativity anytime I dare to share my dream?
Am I an artist? I've heard the grass is greener on the other side. An Eden even of luxury and fame, where people in town know my name. I've surveyed the cultural landscape and found it covered in a blockade of bush. A course through uncharted lands, where every attempt to touch it slices my hand, obstructed by blades of grass that scratch with every.
You can't do that.
Full of pimplers and courage, vicious vines that love to lie, whispering.
This ain't a real job to do.
Hit too tall to climb, too thick to see through. But I got a sword that brand new, sharpened by every innovative idea I've ever had at 2 a.m. My weapon is as sharp as my pen, and I gotta get through this wall of twigs and leaves, so when the way clear, them gonna know it was me.
As I cut a path, maybe I could cement my name with longevity. If only I could keep swinging with consistency. Can I be Sparrow to Calypso? Can I popularize poetry? But the words of the others echo in my head, you see. I was never the sharpest tool in the shed, no matter how much times I tried to sharpen with Oxford and Collins. Metal can only sharpen metal so much before it begins to rust. So, as I cut this bush, I burn it to forge the fire of passions within me. But this moisture in the bush is made of salt water. I am an island in a sea of doubt. How can I blame them for not believing in me when I have no self-belief, just a head filled with idealistic dreams of a peasant turned legend with no way to execute? Question marks hang off the edge of my legacy. How will they remember me? Can I cut through this bush to make a mark in this industry? Can I keep it cut long enough to cement something more concrete? Or will I succumb to this ever-growing mediocrity that force people to spend their lives in factories, forever slaving away for companies, doing all the work and getting a fraction of the money? That could never be me. I'd rather be broke and artistically free as I can be, a nomad with a notepad, trying to be noteworthy. Only if I can get these people to notice me.
On the path to creativity, our hero discovers the spirit of negativity is like no other. What you really looking to do in truth? I love to see the folly of you. You come in here thinking you could change things with your new tricks like artists before you then break new ground and still get bodied in licks. You know how many times somebody beat back deforestation just to be forgotten by the next generation? And in a few years that happen, this thicket gets thicker and harder for the next gardener.
I mean, look around you. Don't you see the seeds of doubt have begun to sprout right beneath your feet? What you think made this forest? These branches bent more than the will of those who thought they could accomplish what you strive for right now. This ground has made directors lose their sense of direction, never to be found, made actors act out of character when they carry a financial burden for too long, even made dancers move different when their most recent bills come. So why are you an exception as a poet or musician? I mean, how steady can your cash flow really be if it is trickling from streams? How will you pay for a mortgage properly when you could barely own your intellectual property? Your cultural policies limit your possibilities, reducing artistic activities to popularity contests. Or maybe competitions where corporations only invest when their name can be printed big and bold when they hand over the check. The cultural industries are in their infancy and you expect to be a full-time creative as an adult. You're making beer malt sport. See, we don't have any stable infrastructure. They call it the orange economy, but really it should be amber. With the way it stalls artists bumper to bumper, traffic lines with no green lights and nothing but red tape. And if you build a highway, the progress will the cost be the grassroots.
With all due disrespect, you arrogant starting to get to me. I mean, look around. How many wealthy poets do you see in this country? The better question is, Is poetry even an industry? Of course. There's usually for the month of Black History, for you to shout words about our ancestry, and for the next 28 days is make you believe that you could be somebody, but then in the street you just like Black History. Forget you even exist for the next 11 months until the next racist incident, and then for a brief moment you get back your relevance. And every 3 minutes and 30 seconds of stage time they will use you as intermission. You may look at the people that they toss a few commissions, but those come with requirements of 10 years experience. Do you really plan to starve until then? Or ask for sponsorship so your work could get owned by the government, and then they will never even give your name a mention? So what are your options?
You want to be a creative, right? Sounds cool, but you either left in or becoming a teacher because them ain't nothing but here for you to do. Sure, you'll have work during independence and emancipation, but them is only 2 out of how many seasons? You can't save for a rainy day when you living from gig to gig pay, and how long you gotta wait for a check to get clear? You would do a show in February and see the money in your bank account come New Year. Meanwhile, the air cakes won't fill your belly, but you gotta survive all 31 weeks in January. But it's how you think that these people really want what you meant. Unless it's for the tourists, don't expect no forward sis. Them want coconut palm trees and chatter houses. You about here making things that remind people oppression exists. You trying to sell depression when people spend thousands for escapism, and you here making music? Sound real nice. Make sure it's something to walk up to if you want to get recognized. Otherwise, don't waste your time. What is our hero to do now? Will they become overcome by doubt? Then while the hero's head is still bent, enters the spirit of encouragement.
Just think about it. Those big lights shining, illuminating your hidden potential. Your future brighter than any living or dying star you've ever seen. You've been having supernova dreams as you slumber in the slums, but I promise a morning will come where the heights you reach will be reflected on your address, where gatekeepers will need to be buzzed in, your name buzzed in and written on bosoms, who then boast about being approached by you. Trust me, in this game of life, I done coached a few. Done seen creativity turn homeless names to household names, turn hopeless romantics to modern magnets. This cultural landscape is a maze, and you have to understand its rules. Cause you sunk a bus and get about 1 million views in a week, so you can imagine a year. But then you could win about 5 Grammys. Got you granny saying, good there, you win again. Crowd keeping so much noise, it remind granny when the coyotes used to sneak into the foul pen. Creating is so intoxicating.
Could you imagine a world without passion? No wondrous words, no powerful paintings, no cool fashions.
It's in the expression. The way one can tap into the cultural zeitgeist, 2 people can splice a single thought into 3 interpretations of art.
Reflecting the unspoken thoughts of all the people around in words, movement, and sound. Is that not magic?
Is it not?
With our bare hands.
Creative shrink from stars, the faces of forefathers we have lost.
Decorating on desks, new lessons when teachers didn't know we were paying attention.
Carving through cavernous emotions, leaving others to one day find it in the dark. Making is a devotion.
It is a livelihood.
It is a confession.
It is an art.
The world offers us a frame and a glance, and with our bare hands we make infinity mirrors.
Life imitating us, imitating life.
Some pieces are like discovering your feet for the first time. With our bare hands we make sense of a senseless world.
Maybe if you work hard enough and make that path, one day about here, artists can be heralded in the streets, greeted by bowls and bowls of fruit offered at their feet.
And we go back to the thoughts of our protagonist. Once again pondering, am I an artist?